Coaches and divers must inform the referee if they consider that the diving facilities are unsafe in any way. Spectators are requested not to use flash photography during the performance of a dive, as this can be distracting to the diver and could lead to an accident. The signal that you will hear if it becomes necessary to evacuate the building will be an automated voice. Please follow the and around the building, without whose help and support these events would not be possible. And please, Sandwell, keep the applause going as we welcome the competitors in the women's 10-meter platform preliminary. Scores are round 3. Start 1 from Dive London Aquatics Club, Andrea Spendolini Siriex. Start 2 from City of Sheffield Diving, Maisie Bond. Start 3 from City of Sheffield Diving, Tia McGarry. Start 4 from Edinburgh Diving Club, Libby Duke. Start 5 from Dive London Aquatics Club, Hannah Newbrook. Start 6 from Dive London Aquatics Club, Corinne Burrows Mackley. And start 7 from City of Leeds Diving, Libby Mitson. And please welcome your officials, your referee, Hannah Novotna. Your platform judge, Emily Saunders. And your judges, Carlos Ferrer, Vicky Tomlinson, Sarah Barrow, Susie Bamber, Ronald van der Voort, Francesca Del Cello, and Nigel Mills. Judges and spectators, all dives on 10 meter unless I announce otherwise. All dives on 10 meter unless I announce otherwise. Waiting for Andrea. She's a speedy speed. Do you want 7 seconds? Maybe 7. Yes, please. And our first diver, representing Dive London Aquatics Club, Andrea Spendolini Siriex. Arm stand back double somersault, 1.5 twists, free position. 8, 7.5, 8, 8, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5. Maisie Bond, City of Sheffield diving, reverse 2.5 somersaults with tuck. Six and a half, 7.5, 7.5, 8, 7.5, 8, 8. Tia McGarry, City of Sheffield diving, inward 2.5 somersaults, piked. Six and a half, 7, 6.5, 6.5, 7, 5.5, 6.5. Libby Duke, Edinburgh Diving Club. Forward 2.5 somersaults, 1 twist, piked. Five and a half, 5.5, 5.5, 5.5, 5.5, 5.5, 5. Hannah Newbrook, Dive London Aquatics Club. Arm stand back, double somersault, 1.5 twists, free position. Seven, 7, 6, 6, 5.5, 6, 6. Corinne Burrows Mackley, Dive London Aquatics Club. Forward 3.5 somersaults, piked. Five, 5, 4.5, 5, 4.5, 4.5, 5. Libby Mitson, City of Leeds diving. Forward 2.5 somersaults, piked. 5, 5.5, 5.5, 6, 5.5, 6, 5.5. Second round. Andrea, inward 1.5 somersaults, piked. 8.5, 8.5, 9, 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, 8. Maisie, back 2.5 somersaults, piked. 8, 8, 7.5, 8, 7.5, 7, 7.5. Tia, back 2.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists, piked. 4.5, 5, 5, 4.5, 5.5, 5.5, 4.5. Libby, inward 2.5 somersaults, piked. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5.5, 5. Hannah, reverse 2.5 somersaults with tuck. 6.5, 7, 7, 7, 6.5, 6.5, 7. Corinne, inward 3.5 somersaults with tuck. 7, 7, 8, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5. Libby, back 2.5 somersaults, a half twist, piked. Six, 5.5, 6, 6, 5.5, 6, 6. Third round of dives. Andrea, forward 1.5 somersaults, piked. Nine, 9, 8, 9.5, 9, 9, 9. Maisie, forward 3.5 somersaults, piked. Five and a half, 6, 5.5, 5, 5, 6, 6. Tia, forward 3.5 somersaults with tuck. Six and a half, 6.5, 7, 6.5, 6, 6.5, 5.5. Libby, arm stand back, double somersault, 1.5 twists, free position. Five and a half, 4.5, 4.5, 5.5, 5, 4.5, 4. Hannah, back 2.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists, piked. Five, 5, 5.5, 4.5, 4.5, 5.5, 5. Corin, back 2.5 somersaults, piked. 5, 5, 5, 5, 4.5, 5.5, 5. Libby, reverse dive piked. Six and a half, 7, 7.5, 7, 7, 7.5, 7. And that brings us to the end of the third round of dives. So we'll just have a quick look at the current standings on the scoreboard for you now. Fourth round. Andrea, back dive piked. Eight and a half, 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, 9, 9. Maisie, back 2.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists, piked. Five and a half, 6, 6, 6, 5.5, 5.5, 5.5. Tia, reverse 2.5 somersaults with tuck. Six and a half, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6.5, 6. On 7.5 meter. Libby, forward 2.5 somersaults, piked. Six, 6, 6, 6.5, 6.5, 6.5, 6. Hannah, forward 3.5 somersaults, piked. Five, 5.5, 5, 5, 4.5, 4.5, 5. Corin, reverse 2.5 somersaults with tug. Six, 6.5, 6.5, 6.5, 7, 6. Libby, arm stand forward, single somersault, piked. Seven, 6.5, 7.5, 7.5, 8, 8, 7. Final round of dives. Andrea Spendolini, Siriex, Dive London Aquatics Club. Reverse dive for piked. Eight and a half, 8, 8.5, 8.5, 8, 9, 9. Maisie Bond, City of Sheffield Diving. Inward 3.5 somersaults with tuck. Six and a half, 7.5, 7, 7.5, 7, 7.5, 7. Tia McGarry, City of Sheffield Diving. Back 2.5 somersaults, piked. Six, 6, 6.5, 6, 5.5, 5.5, 6. On 5 meter, Libby Duke, Edinburgh Diving Club. Back 1.5 somersaults, piked. 5, 5, 5, 5.5, 6.5, 5.5, 5. Hannah Newbrook, Dive London Aquatics Club. Inward 3.5 somersaults with tug. 6.5, 6, 6, 6.5, 6, 6, 6.5. On 5 metre. Corinne Burrows-Mackley, Dive London Aquatics Club. Back 1.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists, free position. 5, 5, 5, 5.5, 5, 5, 4.5. Libby Mitson, City of Leeds Diving. Inward 2.5 somersaults, piked. 5, 5, 4.5, 5, 5, 5.5, 5. Thank you, officials. Thank you, judges. Sandwell, please put your hands together for the women's platform preliminary competitors. We will have the results for you in just a few moments' time.